Hey there, this is Tiff from the Tiffany Micah podcast, and welcome to today's episode. You know, I had a conversation a few months ago with this young woman. She was a rower, and she had a meltdown after a rowing test. And actually, it was during the rowing test when she actually had the meltdown. And her coach, what happened was that her coach covered up the rowing machine so she couldn't see her time. She couldn't see how fast she was going. She couldn't see the distance she'd travelled or the pace she was rowing at. And you know what? I understand what the coach was doing there. The coach was working on showing all the rowers how to develop feel and trust and rhythm. But this young woman, she completely freaked out. And the reason that was happening was because she was put out of her comfort zone. Right? She felt incredibly uncomfortable because this is what happened to her. So she couldn't track or see what was going on. Like I said, she felt completely uncomfortable. And she kept telling herself, though, how hard it was. She couldn't find a rhythm. She kept telling herself to give up and that she wasn't good enough and she was never going to make it. And what actually ended up happening was she ended up quitting before the time was up. So I think the test went for about 30 minutes and she gave up. And then what happened after that was that she burst into tears and this whole cycle of I'm not good enough, I'll never make it, how embarrassing, you know, I've fallen apart in front of everyone, this is so embarrassing, and so on. And I really felt for her. Because what was coming up all the time in the conversations we were having is that she always worked hard in the past. She never gave up on anything. She was always really good at everything else, other sports that she tried, but she was really struggling with this. And this happens. This happens when you're chasing your dream. It's really tough. And when you see the pros out there, you see it's all the glory of performing, isn't it? But you don't see what goes on behind closed doors because it is tough. What you've got to do from a mental and physical level, it's incredibly tough. And when I heard this story, she was sharing this story with me, I could see myself in this young woman because this happened to me when I was the same age, when I was 19. I went through exactly the same thing. Played this match against this well-known tennis player. I got absolutely smashed. And all I kept saying was I was never good enough, I look like an idiot, you know, I don't even know how to play tennis, I couldn't grip the court, we're playing on clay courts, I couldn't grip the court well, I was just completely out of my comfort zone, couldn't find any rhythm, worried about what other people thought of me, I'm never going to make it. And then I got absolutely smashed, and, you know, I lost track of the score all the time, performed badly. And then what did I do? I ended up bursting into tears, ran behind the clubhouse and just cried uncontrollably doing that. And you know what happened then? A year later, I gave up on me. That's when I gave up on my dream. And I couldn't let this young woman go through this, what I went through, because I held on to that regret and that devastation for 25 years. And I didn't want her to go through that. So we had this long conversation about what to do. And these were the things that I suggested for her to do to turn things around. And I said to her, it's going to be tough. I said, if you really want what you want from this sport, it's going to be tough, but you're going to have to do the work mentally. Because she was working hard. She was doing the training. But she was finding it incredibly hard mentally. And so this is what I suggested to do. Was one, meditation. So you heard me say that before. You've heard me previously say that in other episodes. Meditation. And I said, you've got to learn how to meditate because it's going to be the thing that's going to teach you how to focus. And when you start drifting mentally, be aware of that, and then you can bring yourself back on getting yourself back on track, because this happens when you compete. And I said, second thing I want you to do is I want you to give the best effort that you can in every single training session that you do. Don't just show up and go through the motions. I want you to focus on staying in the moment in each training session. Give your best effort. Because I said, I want you to think it's like a bank account. What you're doing is investing in you, right? So you're putting all these deposits into your bank account. So you're working on being focused during your training. Because if you work on being focused and being in the moment in your training, it helps your performance in your sport when you're performing like in competition. Then number 3, I said create routines that you could follow. So pre-training mental routines, and what happens in your training routines from a mental point of view. What you do post-training, routines. And there's these other things that we've been working on, morning and evening routines and so on. And then number 4, I said to her, I want you to teach yourself how to train under pressure. I want you to figure out what training you could do to make yourself perform under pressure. Because I said when it comes to competition day or even test day, when you do this test again, you want to perform better. So you need to know how to train under pressure, and you need to put yourself under pressure. And then number 5, I said I want you to analyse your emotions. I want you to take an inventory of your emotions. I want you to check in and see what you're saying to yourself, how you're handling situations. And it was within a few days, she sent me a few messages and she said, I could see, she said, I was starting to hear myself, the language I was using in the way I was talking to myself. And she said, I need to reframe the words in which I'm speaking to myself. So what she was noticing is that she was always saying how she was never good enough. All these negative words kept coming up. And then, so what she decided to do, and she sent me this whole list of what she'd done, but this is an example. So she kept saying that she wasn't good enough. So she just reframed it and said, I can do this. I'm working on improving my skill level every day. Right? Something simple like that. But it's changing. There was another one where she was talking about how she was not good enough when she was competing with her teammates. And she said that what she then did was, okay, well, I'm not as fit as what they are. I need to make sure I get fitter. Versus, I'm not good enough. I'm not as good as them. Simple reframing. So just recently I received an email from her, because she went through this whole test again, this 30-minute test, and this is what happened. She got her personal best time or distance, whatever it was. I think she overshot her previous personal best by another 150 metres or something, because they had the tape covered over, so they don't know what they're actually doing. So the tape was covered over the rowing machine, so she couldn't see anything. And she said not only that she got a personal best, she actually beat all of her training partners as well. How cool is that? She beat all of her training partners. And she said, I've proved to myself that I can do it. And now, you know what? She says, I believe that I can do this. But the thing was knowing how to break through. And it's working with someone who's been there too, because we want to work with people that they understand what we've been through. Because they know how you feel. They know what you're going through. So these are some things that you can do to help you. Ask for help. Get a coach. If you don't want to have one, get one. Right? Get a coach that's going to help you, obviously, with your skills and your training, but also mentally. You need someone that's going to help you mentally. It may be someone different to your actual coach. Be resourceful. Start looking for answers. Because that's what you'll need to do. If you want to really achieve what it is that you want to achieve in whether you're playing a sport or whatever your dream is, and we don't want to be freaking out, like this title says, don't freak out with sports tests, then we've got to go and do the work. We've got to learn how to deal with it. Because if you want to get to that sporting dream that you're pursuing, you've got to get the help. You've got to get coaches that are going to help you and show you how to do it. Especially from a mental point of view. The physical will be the easy part. The mental's going to be the tough part. and get resourceful. Start finding out the answers. So I hope you enjoyed today's episode. Love it if you could share with me what you like best about what you heard today. If you have friends that you know that would benefit from these episodes, love it too if you could share with your friends these episodes, because we want to build the Reach Your Potential with Tiff community as big as we possibly can. If you just have 30 seconds to spare, I would really appreciate a 5-star review wherever you hear these episodes, because we want to build also the Reach Your Potential with Tiff community as big as we possibly can. I want you to dream big, believe in you, go after your dreams. Have an awesome day. Take care. Talk soon. Bye-bye.